Oshkosh Media is government programming on GovTV, community programming on Life TV, and community radio on Oshkosh FM 101.9.
Welcome to the City Manager's Report, a look at city updates and a preview of the next Oshkosh Common Council meeting agenda.
And thanks for joining us for another edition of the City Manager's Report. I'm Andy Radig, and in a moment we'll be joined by Interim City Manager John Fitzpatrick. As usual, in the first half of today's show, we'll have some municipal news updates, including notes from city departments and things happening in Oshkosh. In the second half, we'll highlight items from the upcoming Tuesday, January 14th, Oshkosh Common Council meeting agenda. And with that, we bring in our interim city manager, John Fitzpatrick. And John, thanks for joining us for the show today.
Thanks for having me, Andy.
Yeah, and just starting right off, as I said, we have our interim city manager here, a little different title than what we had previously when you've been on the show with us. And
right.
If you can tell us a little bit about what's involved being an interim city manager.
Sure, I'd be happy to. It's not too different. My regular responsibilities are assistant city manager, and then I'm also the director of administrative services. But that role is really designed to be someone who steps in and fills the responsibilities of city manager when the city manager is unavailable for any time. But we still have a city manager in place. Mm-hmm. The interim city manager role is one where we don't have an active city manager in place, and that's the case right now, and it's going to be for a little while. Mm-hmm. Moving forward. Mm-hmm. But it's not something that is totally unfamiliar to me. It's for folks that may not know. I acted in this capacity in the past when City Manager Wallink retired. Mm-hmm. So I'm happy to do it, and I think the staff are used to me, so hopefully it'll be a smooth transition.
Yeah, you're very involved in the day-to-day, and you're very familiar with all the inner workings of the city and the staff and everything else.
Right.
So of course it just makes sense.
Right. Mm-hmm. Well, I think it's going to be fine, and we're looking forward to when the new city manager will be able to start.
Yeah, and I know that there was quite a involved recruitment process that took place for hiring a new city manager. Can you just walk us through that a little bit?
Sure, absolutely. We work pretty closely with the council on that process because human resources is a division that is in my department, and we also utilized an outside consultant and did a nationwide search. We were fortunate. We had a lot of people that were interested in Oshkosh, and I'm not surprised, and I know you aren't either because it's such a wonderful community, and I think we're recognized for the staff that we have. Mm-hmm. A lot of communities contact us, and when they're thinking about all kinds of different things, policies and procedures, mm-hmm. So it's very flattering. But I think it really helped when we got to the point where we were involved in this recruitment, because there were a lot of interested people. We had, in talking to the recruiter, upwards of, 36 or more applicants, mm-hmm. pretty high level applicants from around the country. Mm-hmm. And then I think they were able to narrow the field down to 18 and then 12, and mm-hmm. Our consultant interviewed those mm-hmm. folks, some that were the most qualified. Right. And then discussed that with the city council, and the council agreed to have, I think, a group of 4. Mm-hmm. And the council, one of the things the council made clear right from the very beginning is they really wanted the community to be involved in this process. Yeah. And I thought that was excellent. I thought that was, a great idea, and fully supported that. So we asked what sort of qualities they'd like to see. We had a public meet and greet. Mm-hmm. We certainly asked our employees what sort of qualities they'd like to see in the next city manager. Mm-hmm. And that all, we all got to a point where we held the interview process. Yeah. And then I know the community maybe was wondering why it was taking a little bit longer after we held those interviews, but the council felt very strongly that the magnitude of this recruitment was such that they wanted to make sure that they selected the right person.
Mm-hmm.
They did some extra due diligence, and that's why it took a little bit longer.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they were pleased that they did, because I think it helped them feel more confident in the selection. And then they decided to offer the job to Rebecca Grill,
Mm-hmm.
who's currently the city administrator in West Dallas.
Mm-hmm. So, a Wisconsinite.
Yes, right.
Just moving up Interstate 41.
That's right. It's not too far.
Right.
Yep.
And I believe she's been in West Dallas for the last 9 years.
Right. And it looks like we have some video of her right there.
This is the meet and greet. You were
Okay.
mentioning about
Yeah.
public involvement.
Right, exactly.
Mm-hmm. And her educational background includes a Bachelor of Arts degree in political science and a criminal justice degree, as well as a Master of Business Administration and Finance, both from Concordia University.
Right.
And she also has some other credentials from the International City County Management Association.
Right.
And is a certified public manager from the University of Wisconsin-Madison.
Right. It's my understanding she also helps participate in those seminars to help other managers become certified public managers from UW-Madison.
Mm-hmm.
So I know she's involved in that. I've had a chance to talk to her,
Mm-hmm.
meet with her a little bit, and I think one thing that the community will come to know about her is I think relationships are very important to her,
Mm-hmm.
and relationship building, and that's something that became more apparent when we did that extra due diligence, when the council
Yeah.
asked us to do that. So, and that was important for them too.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think when someone has that sort of affinity to work and live in a manner where they have relationship-oriented interactivity, I think it really sets them up, I believe, for long-term success.
Mm-hmm.
It might take a little bit longer for people to realize, how the person is, what they're all about,
Mm-hmm.
but I think it's really designed to build that lasting success. And based on my interactivity with Rebecca, I can see that behavior
Mm-hmm.
shining through.
Mm-hmm. And when could we expect Rebecca Grill to begin her duties with Oshkosh?
Her first day is going to be February 24th.
Mm-hmm.
I've been in limited contact with her, for the most part to provide respect to her because she's finishing up her current assignment in West Dallas.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
It's a big responsibility to tie up all those loose ends. Mm-hmm. They're doing the same thing that we're doing right now,
Yeah.
trying to get that prepared for when they can do a recruitment.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, the responsibilities associated with your family.
Mm-hmm.
It's really a lot. It's a big transition, and staff. We had our department head meeting yesterday, and I talked to staff about how we want to try to. We're going to continue to go forward as we always have.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want to just set things aside. So when she comes here at the end of February, if she's got this mountain of work,
Yeah.
that's not going to allow
Yeah.
her to be successful.
Right.
So
Mm-hmm.
we're going to do whatever we can to try to make sure that the transition for her is easy as it can possibly be,
Mm-hmm.
so she can spend time, understanding our organization, the community, get to know the elected officials a little bit better, and I really think that's going to be the best recipe for success.
Mm-hmm. And we welcome you to the City Manager's Report for a little while until we get things going with Rebecca.
Well,
So
thanks
for filling in.
Thank you for having me, Andy.
Yeah. Well, speaking of recruitments, we have another recruitment that is happening very soon. Our fire chief, Oshkosh Fire Chief Mike Stanley, has accepted a new position in Colorado, and we wish him well.
That's right, yes. Mike met with me earlier this past week and talked to me a little bit about a position that he had accepted in Greeley, Colorado. And for folks who may not know, Mike is originally from Colorado. When we hired him based on his experience out there, he was really in charge of fire and EMS for Aurora, Colorado, which is a very large place. And so he, after being in Colorado for over 20 years, he left Colorado and came to become our fire chief here. And he's worked on a variety of different initiatives. And it's my understanding, he shared with me too that his extended family is still in Colorado.
Right.
His mom, his daughters, and as we all know, and I know personally, when your parents get to be at an advanced age, sometimes they need a little bit of help. And even though your children grow up, they still need your assistance too.
Sure.
And so, such is the case with Mike. He
Right.
Has some responsibilities that he feels like he needs to take care of and be available for his family. And we certainly understand that. We support that. It's we appreciate the time that we had with him, but we understand that this is something that he needs to do, and it's going to be best for his family, and we support that, and we support him.
Sure, and we wish him all the best.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's
Yes.
been wonderful to work with. Any idea about the next steps? I know this is all very new.
Sure. Yes. Yep. It's something that we'll be working on going forward. We'll have to establish a recruitment plan, and as part of that recruitment, we'll involve of course, the fire department, the city organization, and we'll have community involvement, just as we did when we had the process for Rebecca. Oftentimes in the past, I've helped orchestrate some of the recruitments for our other police chiefs and fire chiefs, and we also have a meet and greet and some of those other components that I talked about earlier.
Right.
So, and as I also talked about earlier, I'm confident because we have a top-notch fire department. Our staff are second to none.
It's outstanding.
It is, and I think there's going to be no shortage of candidates. I certainly hope that's going to be the case, and I think the community expects that, and the staff deserve that. So we'll see what happens. As part of that process, of course, people may not know, but Wisconsin has a system where a police and fire commission is involved. We have a police and fire commission here at the city of Oshkosh. So they'll be the ones that will make the decision associated with who the next chief will be.
Okay.
And then in between that time, we'll have to determine how we manage the operations, just as we talked about that I am until Rebecca gets here. So those are just some of the things that we'll be working on. But I think it'll be fine. I think it's going to take a little bit of time.
Yeah.
And I think the timing will be such that, when we get to the interview stage, I think Rebecca hopefully will have an opportunity to participate in that. I know she would probably like that. So, so that's kind of the long and short of it.
Well, we'll be talking about this more in depth, I'm sure, on future episodes of City Manager's Report.
Right.
So we'll keep everyone up to date as we move along.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, I know in recruitment we try to convey to those potential candidates that Oshkosh is a wonderful place to live, and one of those features is Menominee Park. And ice skating, winter ice skating is returning to Menominee Park. And that opens up this Saturday, January 11th. The weather has actually been quite cooperative for having an ice rink again.
It is. It's something I know the community looks forward to. I don't live too far from Menominee Park. I know my grandkids look forward to participating in that when we can have it available. And also, I think people, it looks like we have just a little more detailed information about when it's going to be open. The other thing I think that bears mentioning is Dr. Eric's Skate Club. I think that we've really been fortunate to have a lot of people sponsor a whole variety of things, specifically in Menominee Park, and this is just another example of that.
Right.
So it's something that I know a lot of families are looking forward to, not just kids and grandkids, but parents and grandparents too.
Yeah. The rink will be open through February at the Menominee Park Zoo. It'll be open on Saturdays and Sundays from noon until 4. And as you mentioned, those free skate rentals from Dr. Eric's Skate Club will be available during those times on weekends. The Lake Fly Cafe will serve as a warming shelter for the skaters on the weekends. And folks are actually invited to come and skate on the weekdays as well because of extended hours for the Menominee Park Zoo. And those hours are Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Right. I think it's a little less busy during the week. And yeah, it would be great to take in the zoo. It'd be a double bonus.
Yeah, absolutely. And more information, including if there is a closure, that information will be on the Menominee Park Facebook page. I believe it's called Menominee Park and Zoo Facebook page.
Right.
So people can check that out if they would like more detail.
Right. Sounds good.
Well, also we try to keep everybody healthy in Oshkosh, and the Wellness Fair and Open House is taking place soon over at the Oshkosh Senior Center. And they do this every year, John, and that's coming up on January 22nd from 12:30 to 3 p.m. So it looks like a great opportunity.
It does, and I know you and City Manager Roloff have talked about this in past episodes, about how the focus of the Senior Center has really changed over time to help seniors be active and be more involved. I mean, in addition to isolation, inactivity is probably the other issue that really makes it more difficult as people age. And so they have all kinds of things that they're planning for the Wellness Fair. I think they have motivational speakers. They can talk about the fitness center that is over there. It's really fantastic if people haven't seen it. The equipment that's available is just tremendous. So if you have an opportunity, it's really worth checking out.
Right. And attendees are encouraged to bring their Medicare supplement insurance information so staff can see if they're eligible for a fitness reimbursement.
Yeah.
So there might be some additional opportunities there.
Right.
If folks have any questions, they can contact Dan, the Senior Services Manager, at 232-5300 and get more information.
Right.
All right. Well, also recently we had, during the holiday season, there was the Shop with a Cop event. So our police department is also very active in the community.
They are. Our police department really makes it a priority to interact with the community. You might see on their vehicles, they have a tagline, "Know us before you need us."
Right.
And, I think sometimes when they're called, they come in to circumstances that are very difficult and very stressful. And if other family members are involved in those circumstances, it's only natural for them to kind of connect that feeling that they had with police. So in order for them to understand police and have a real complete picture of who they are and what they do, I think they understand how important it is for them to provide other experiences for the public. So they just aren't framed with that, negative experience that I talked about earlier. And this is just one example. They are so involved in the community. They want to try to help people understand that they're there as a resource to help them in a whole variety of contexts. And I know in speaking to a lot of the people that I've worked with over the years that worked at the police department, they really enjoy this. It's not just something that is done just as a public relations activity. It's something that they really appreciate, the interactivity with everyone, and I think it's just very well done.
Yeah. I know that there were several generous donations from local organizations. And as you mentioned, it was not only police officers, but some civilian staff. Oshkosh Auxiliary Police helped out. And so the children were able to buy gifts for their family members and for themselves.
Right, yeah. And that's an important part. I'm glad you brought that up, it's just not gifts for them, but they have an opportunity to give to others too. And I think that's just really a nice component of the program.
Yeah, so great to see that the police department was able to help make a better holiday season for some Oshkosh families.
Absolutely, yes.
So speaking of holiday season, and we're kind of wrapping up the holiday season, Christmas trees are being collected, and I know I've seen a number of them, including one in front of my house on the terrace, and those pickups, curbside tree pickups, are occurring between January 6th and 10th. But if you did not get a chance to get the tree out by the 10th, again, January 20th through the 24th, there'll be another round of pickup.
Right. And it looks like we have a graphic up there just for people to remind them that, that they should remove decorations. I know they might be harried and try to get it out, but sometimes you wouldn't. You'd be surprised that folks forget to remove some of those things. So just a reminder. Don't put them in plastic bags. They shouldn't be covered in snow because it makes it difficult for us to know that they're there or pick them up then. And then artificially or flock trees, that's something that we can't accept. And then, if they miss the pickups, they can also drop them off at our yard waste site on West 3rd Ave.
Right. And just to note, too, that Christmas wreaths, garland, or swags that contain a metal frame and artificial trees should actually just be placed in the garbage cart.
Yeah, right. And here's some more pictures. I know just some other helpful reminders. If you drop them off at the city waste drop-off site, the hours that are in effect are 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Monday through Friday, and closed on the weekends. And you need to utilize your permit in order to utilize the waste site.
Yep, right. And John, we've seen a little bit of snow in that video there, and we just want to do a little bit of a reminder for folks about snow removal. The snow must be removed from sidewalks within 24 hours after the end of the precipitation or accumulation. Right.
And it's a courtesy for a lot of people that, not only their neighbors. I certainly know, like in my neighborhood, it's kind of a race to get out there because people enjoy doing it. And then they just intentionally do the sidewalk for their neighbors. But in addition to circumstances like that, there are circumstances where we have people who may need to utilize the transit service that we provide, may have disabilities and need to utilize the sidewalk to
and those ramps
to get onto the bus. So it's really important that people try to do their best to remove and clear snow. It's not just for themselves, but it's for their friends and neighbors that live in the community.
Yep, and also it's important to clear those stormwater inlets of snow. That helps with the drainage.
That's right.
That's an important element.
Yep, that's a good video right there. And I think people know in Wisconsin, if you've lived here for any period of time, sometimes the weather can be a little volatile. So the changing temperatures, when we have melts, and if those inlets aren't cleared, as we can see in this video, they'll puddle, and then we'll get a cold snap, and then they'll freeze, and then that is really problematic because the water can't drain, and it creates problems all over the place for our community.
Yeah, and there are fees if folks fail to clear their sidewalks, so we encourage folks to avoid that.
Right, absolutely, especially after all the money's been spent for the holidays.
Right, absolutely. All right, John, I think we're just going to continue right on. Again, we're with our interim city manager, John Fitzpatrick, and we'll take a look at the upcoming items for the Tuesday, January 14th Common Council meeting. And John, it looks like under the consent agenda, we have a few things here. One is for the water treatment plant. It's a new approach for some of their processes there, and it looks like they're able to save a little bit of money by utilizing a new approach with this.
Right. It's my understanding they did a pilot study this past year to try to consider less expensive and more effective ways to treat water, and so they have rather than purely hard chems, they have a liquid system that I think they've been trying out, and that's really proved through the pilot study to work quite well. So they're going to go forward with the bid to apply that new process to our water treatment.
Okay.
So.
All right, very good. And then also we have another item for the water filtration plant. It looks like this is for adding some perhaps new equipment and maybe some information technology systems.
Right. People may not be aware that we treat water from Lake Winnebago, and also we use ozone as a technology, which is somewhat unique. And so this is an upgrade to that processing system, and also the SCADA systems that are involved with the IT component of our water treatment.
Okay. And then continuing on the consent agenda, we have several special events. It's that time of year, and it looks like we're looking for a combination of a whole lot of different things here. I know that one organization that's been very active in the community, and I see that they're listed in here, the Otter Street Fishing Club. They've been very active in the community, and they have some events coming up.
Absolutely. They've been a great partner with the city for a long, long time. They participate in a lot of different fundraising events. But one of the things that people may not be familiar with, it looks like we have some video of the two events that are going to take place, the Otter Street Fishery and Battle on Bago, that I know their group is also affiliated with Otter Street. But Otter Street, in addition to their philanthropy here in the community, they're also responsible for helping to plow roads on Lake Winnebago during the winter. They place bridges out there because there's numerous cracks. Although I heard recently the ice is better than it's been in quite some time, ice is really never safe. So they help monitor that. We talked about Christmas trees earlier. They use Christmas trees to mark some of those roads out on Lake Winnebago. So great partner. Can't say enough about Otter Street. If you get a chance to get out there and participate in Battle on Bago or the fishery, please do so.
Yeah, absolutely. Those are great events, and everyone is encouraged to take part. Okay, then continuing on the agenda for the meeting, under new resolutions, we have approval of preliminary plat for some property over at Winnebago Avenue, and this is the former Washington School property.
Right, I think it's Washington Elementary School, and I know you've spoken about this project in the past too on City Manager Report. And I hope the community knows that we've been working very hard to try to upgrade housing in the community. That's one of the things that a lot of communities are struggling with right now. There's a housing shortage. So I thought this was a very novel idea. Community Development Director Nyforth has been working on this for quite some time to utilize Washington School, the property there that really hasn't been utilized by the Oshkosh Area School District, and then provide some infill homes in this neighborhood through not only private development, but also through Habitat for Humanity. And I think it's just going to be a wonderful project. It's something that I think is going to help. We need housing at every level, not just low housing, but middle income and high income housing as well. So I think this will really be a great project that I think will help the community moving forward.
And I believe those properties will blend in very well with the existing properties, and
absolutely,
and everything that I've been seeing looks like it'll just kind of look like it had been there a long time.
That's right. That's the idea.
All right. Well, John, I think we're about out of time, actually. Thank you for going through all of these things with us. We appreciate your insights. And again, thanks for joining us for the show.
All right. Thank you, Andy.
And thank you for joining us today. We appreciate your time. Again, that Common Council meeting is at 6 p.m. this Tuesday, January 14th. You can watch that live on GovTV, which is Spectrum Channel 10, UVerse Channel 99, and streaming on YouTube and OshkoshMedia.org. And don't forget, it's also on Oshkosh FM 101.9. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.